The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 752. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She is an award-winning public speaking coach, Toastmaster, and Celebrant, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Sonal Dave. Sonal, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more by yourself to the listeners.
Hi Sheena, absolutely lovely to be here. So with the public speaking coach, I teach ladies predominantly and children. I have been lucky enough to teach some men as well, but that door needs to be opened a little wider. With the Lady Toastmaster, I cover all types of events from corporate, civic, charity, community, weddings, engagements. So any event that has an air of gravitas or formality, lady. And then with the celebrant world, it's all about non-religious ceremonies. So weddings, funerals, renewal of vows, naming ceremonies, all about people sharing happiness, love, smiling, and memorable days, really. That's kind of who I am.
Thanks for sharing that. And Sonal, what's your cultural background?
So I was actually born in Uganda. My roots take me back to India. My mum was born in Gujarat, and I came to the UK as a little baby in arms. It was around the time of Idi Amin when he decided Indians should leave Uganda. So that's when I came to the UK.
Thanks for sharing that. And what'd be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Oh, I love this quote of mine. It's dare to dream, dare to be different. The world is your stage.
Thanks for sharing that great quote. And what would be, in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
So for me, it's very much when I'm teaching it through my public speaking or anyone who's wanting to become a Toastmaster or a celebrant, all of it is very much about acceptance of who you are. That includes how you look, how you sound. If you can accept those things, it kind of comes to what I call self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance, and ultimately being self-confidence. And you have that, you can do anything in life.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And Sonal, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
When I was born in Uganda, as a baby, they found out that I was born with congenital hip dysplasia of my left hip. What that meant for me personally in life was that there were a number of things that I couldn't do, or should I say wasn't allowed to do as a child. And a lot of that was to do with protecting me from any kind of further injuries or issues later in life. But even with that, those kind of challenges and struggle, I didn't let that stop me from going out there and achieving and kind of driving my career and journey to what I wanted. So I worked with the civil service for 20 plus years. I started as an admin officer, and when I left, it was as a deputy director. I was actually one of the, I think, a handful of Asian female deputy directors at the time. So it was quite interesting how many people got in touch to find out more of what it was all about and what was going on and how did it happen, which was amazing. But unfortunately, the civil service was an organization where I did have to face, people saying to me, people like, you don't go very far, you have to wait till you get a tap on the shoulder, you're not good enough. I suppose it was because I didn't conform to their expectations. I was 4'9", a little Indian girl, aspiring to do wonderful things, had a lot of confidence in myself, and I wanted to go places, and that just didn't conform to their expectations. And unfortunately, towards the end of my career, I found that I was treated a little differently, and in fact, it was because of being treated differently that I left the civil service after giving them 23 years of loyalty. So sad, but it's what it was. In my 30s, I became a magistrate, and I've been sitting as a magistrate since 2004. So I've been sitting for 15 years now. I sit in the chair, work in Northwest London, deal with all types of adult crime, do a lot of voluntary work with children through an organisation called Shishugunj, and there's another one in Jodhpur it's called Suchita Niketan, but in short it's SKSN, which is children who have polio. So all of that was sort of happening before.
Thanks for sharing that. And, it's, a lot of people like to tell us what we can and can't do. And, as women, sometimes we believe what they say, right? And it kind of hurts our confidence. And, we have to realize just because someone tells you you don't go too far, you're not good enough, doesn't mean it's the truth. It's just one person's perception. It's not yours. And when you realize you can go out there and do whatever you want to do, then anything's possible. And what was that point in your life when you realized you can go out there and be who you are today? What was that aha moment?
So I think for me, it was very much, so after leaving the civil service, I had some time out to kind of reflect and remind myself who I was, and I had a dip in my own confidence because of what had happened. And then I was at a wedding, and then I recall seeing, there was an English male Toastmaster, and it was an Indian wedding. And I remember seeing him making various announcements, and to be quite honest, maybe not having an understanding of the culture or how words are said. His pronunciation was all over the place. Many people were just not listening to him because either his pronunciation or because he didn't understand the culture. So a lot of the elderly were just switching off and having their own little conversations. And I suddenly thought, wow, look, there's this man standing in front of all these people at an event. I can do that. And I know the ceremony, and I know the language. I speak the language. I want to do this. And it was almost like my moment of, I found my calling. My calling was in the events industry. It was helping people. It was sharing love. It was using a lot of the skills that I'd loved having from when I was younger, being organized, being professional about me, providing great quality service. So all of those kind of almost my toolkit that I was growing up with, it suddenly felt like I'd found an industry that suited me to who I was. And thank you to this English male Toastmaster for getting it wrong a little. I found my calling.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's amazing what happens when you can see someone else, who might not be, I don't want to say not that great, but, you can just see what's possible in yourself. Like you mentioned, like his pronunciation wasn't the greatest, but he's up there doing it. And, if you can go out there and do it, then why not, right? Like I've seen people on YouTube where, they have videos and, they don't have the best pronunciations, but they can still rack up like 4,000 views. And I'm like, if they can do it, anything's possible, right? And because of that, what's your life been like now?
So it's changed. It changed so much in that, I'm actually following a career path that I enjoy, that I'm passionate about, as opposed to doing what I'm being told to do by others. So it's my choice. I'm working with people. I'm ensuring that they have amazing, unique, special, memorable events. And I'm a people's person. I love being with people. I love talking, sharing, communicating, learning. All of that with people really does make me just feel like, wow. And sharing my kind of public speaking skills with, ladies and children, and just having that time away from a permanent full-time job to being, self-employed, doing what I love, doing what I enjoy. But I'm helping other people as well. Unfortunately, life is such that technology is taking over a lot of what we do, and many children have their head down, and that's what they're used to, and that's their comfortable place. But to be able to get them to lift their head and talk to people and present themselves and do interviews really well is just like, wow. It's that lovely maternal feeling of like, I helped that child. It's just so lovely. And Asian women, unfortunately, I found, were brought up to kind of, don't speak till you're spoken to, your place is in the kitchen. But actually helping these ladies find their voice is just an amazing feeling. Some of the ladies who've attended my workshop, and I've helped them a little one-to-one, just gobsmacked at what's kind of happened, since I've started doing the work on public speaking. Absolutely love it. And what's been amazing, is that I've been featured in publications like the Daily Mail, Kush magazine, the London Wedding magazine, Sovereign magazine. I've won awards. And I actually can, go out the house and go shopping, and people can say, oh my God, that's that public speaking Toastmaster person, or, oh, I know her, I've seen her on Facebook. And that's quite a strange feeling from, the day-to-day full-time permanent job, being told what to do and just not being anyone really, just being, a number in a big organization as such.
Thanks for sharing that. And to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
It would have to be that it's okay to be different. Follow your dreams and passion. So don't be afraid, take risks. Don't compare yourself to each other's. We have this inbuilt human switch where we kind of have it on all the time, comparing. Switch it, turn it off. Don't compare yourself. Be yourself. Enjoy everything wonderful and good that happens. But also, what isn't good, well, learn from it and make it better than the next time. There's so much out there for each of us women to go out, go do, go celebrate, go enjoy, go have an amazing life. Just go for it.
Thanks for sharing those great tips. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do and check out some of your work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
So definitely look at www.sonaldave.com. That's my website, and there's lots of information there. And then for those of you that are on Instagram, it's Sonal_Dave68. And for those of you who are Facebook people, if you type in Sonal Dave, that's SONALDAVE official, you'll find me there as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Sonal, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Sonal's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Sonal today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Sonal.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I really do hope that everyone who listens to this gets some value from it and goes and lives that journey that they all deserve to live.
Thanks again, and I'm sure our listeners really enjoyed this interview today, so thanks again. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com to check out cool resources, blog articles, show recaps, and so much more. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.